Yo, what's poppin' everybody? This is Saber4, and I have a deck update for the Salazzle Ninetales deck. I know it hasn't been that long, maybe 1 or 2 months when I first showcased this deck, online anyway. But I've been using it a lot, I intend to use it a lot. I really enjoy using it and expand it. So since I did make some changes and I've got some good matches, more good matches coming up with this deck, I thought I'd give you guys the update first, of course. So this deck is pretty simple. It's based on the flariados strategy from the EX era. You use two stage 1s. The one that inflicts the double status, in this case Salazzle. It's going to inflict hot poison when it evolves with its ability. You burn and poison the opposition. And then you have the other stage 1, the attacking one, Ninetales in this case. With the Hex Flame, you do 20 damage and 50 more damage for each special condition affecting the defending Pokemon. So essentially, you're going to do 120 for 1. If you evolved on the same turn with Salazzle, you inflict that double status, you can do 120. But then between the burn and the poison and the other add-ons, you inflict even more damage. Now, you don't necessarily have to use these two Pokemon. You can use, of course, Ninetales, and you can use the Among Us. There's an Among Us that inflicts double status too. You can use this Salazzle and then use the Ariados from Celestial Storm, or you can just mix and mash them in between, use maybe Among Us with Ariados in Expanded. There's a bunch of different options with these Pokemon that inflict double status, but the best one in my opinion is Salazzle because Burn and Poison inflict damage counters. Among Us, I think it does like Poison and Confusion or something. That's not very efficient. With Burn, we automatically do 20 damage counters with the new Burn ruling. And with Poison, we've got our Stadium 2, the Verbank City Gym. You gotta run 3 of these, and we inflict the damage even further. So between these, the Choice Band even, I run 2 Choice Bands, Verbank City Gym, and the Burn and Poison. Ninetales can essentially do 200 damage maximum for only 1 energy if you get all the add-ons right against a GX Pokemon. So that's incredibly deadly. Most of the time, you don't even need to do that much. You're going to be 1-hit KOing Pokemon or 2-hit KOing them, and you only use one single prize attacker that only needs 1 energy. So it's very, very good. The other benefit of using Ninetales as opposed to something like Ariados is you have Bright Look, this fantastic ability. It's essentially Bloodthirsty Eyes from Lycanroc. If you probably know that Pokemon. If you don't know this Pokemon, maybe it's a little bit old from Dragons Exalted. So it's the same thing. You pull. Bright Look was also the ability from Luxury G Level X. Just top Pokemon, top abilities. You know, grabbing an opponent's Pokemon on the bench is always a very good effect. So it's fast between these two guys. Stage 1s, you have some good board control. You can inflict a lot of damage. Just get KOs, do the job done. Okay, so it's pretty simple. We max out the lines. You got 4 Salazzle and 4 Ninetales. And for the basic Pokemon, you have a few options. For Vulpix, I still think this Dragon's Exalted Vulpix is the best one. You can do Singe. It's essentially an instant burn, so 20 damage for free if you gotta use this. And maybe you'll set up your opponent next turn for Ninetales if they don't switch or if they don't do much, and if you survive. There's a few other ones. There's one that can do like Roar, just force your opponent to switch. It's not that good. To be honest, there aren't really very many good Vulpixes. I think this one is still the best one. Salandits, we have a bunch of options as well. All of them have 70 HP, and they've got decent attacks. This one is the original one from Guardians Rising. This one right here is the Ultra Prism one. Can do 10 for 1 and 2 for 30. So it's the best sort of raw damage you can do. I like running this guy too, just in case maybe if you use Venoshock, if your opponent is affected by poison, you're going to do 60 damage. So you never know, it might come up. So I decided to go like 2 and 2. It doesn't really make a difference. You don't really want to attack with either Salandit or Salazzle. But it's fair to note that maybe sometimes, very, very rare situations, you might be able to do Flamethrower, I guess, 94-3, then you discard 1. It's not very effective, but you never know. Just mentioning that. So pretty simple. You max out these lines, and there's not a lot of space for anything else. You guys can see there's 18 Pokemon. We just have one Ditto Prism. This one because it's like a 5th Vulpix or a 5th Salandit. Since we're running stage 1s, why not run this guy? Another basic Pokemon. And it's just great. It can evolve into either one of them. So very flexible. And just one Mime for the bench barrier. Why not? Just because I need to have... I want to have like at least 10 basics in my decks. If I can help it. And this guy's pretty good. We do run a bunch of Pokemon with abilities. So I guess against Weavile, this one is the guy that's going to save us, I suppose. So pretty simple. There's no support Pokemon, no Jirachis, no Tabulele GXs, nothing like that. It's a full anti-meta deck, no GX decks, no GX Pokemon, what I meant to say. And I'm running a lot of supporters and a lot of supporter fetching cards to boost the consistency. So, the Trainer Skeleton. First and foremost, we gotta have all of our balls and Pokemon fetchers. You got 2 Nest Ball right here, and then a maximum level ball. Now, the reason for this is that setting up your basic Pokemon is very, very important, completely important, as I was about to say. You gotta get a bunch of Salandits and Vulpixes out. If you just have one and not the other, you're not making your combo. Or if you just have like one of each and they die, or you use Salazzle's effect and you want to make a play, you don't have another Salandit to evolve, that's also pretty bad. Once Salazzle evolves, it kind of just sits there on the bench, not doing much. There's no scoop ups in this deck, like super scoop ups and shit. The best thing you can do is fill your bench. Have an optimal like 3 to 4 Salandits down, and then the rest should be like Vulpix or Ditto. Maybe you're going to have Mime down too. But make sure you just have a lot of each one of them. Have your attacker for bright look as well. And have your Salandits down to evolve into Salazzle. Level Ball is very good because it's going to help us get those basic Pokemon like Nest Ball. But it's also going to be able to search out Ninetales, since it only has 90 HP. So it's very good. Now for Salazzle, we can't get him with Level Ball, and there's not really any very good methods to search a Pokemon like this, besides, I guess, Pokemon Communication, or maybe Great Ball and shit. I guess those could be options, but I just decided to run a Master Ball for this. My ace pick of choice is a Master Ball, not a Computer Search. It just, Computer Search could get me like Supporter, and it's just an overall consistency booster. But I don't want to discard multiple cards in this sort of a deck. And Master Ball can get us just about anything. Many of the times you want to use your Computer Search to get like a Pokemon. So this can get me any Pokemon I want. Can get me a basic. You probably don't want to get a basic with this, but maybe sometimes you're going to do it. It can get me either Ninetales or Salazzle, which is very good. So I decided, hey, just go with another searching Pokemon trainer, Master Ball. I think it's the right ace spec for this, the way that I play the deck anyway. You can do Computer Search if you want. Okay, next we got a little bit of energy searching too. Just one Professor's Letter. Get 2 energies from your deck. Very good. There are only 10 energies in this deck. You don't need that many. And sometimes even 10 are going to be... you're going to have spares and you won't want them. But you never know. It's better to have enough than have just too few. I don't want to go below 10, go 9, whatever. So with 10 energies and the letter, you should be okay. Okay, next up we got some typical techs. I run my 1 Field Blower and 1 Startling Megaphone, since this is expanded. One of the Pokemon that can shut down this deck is Garbodor with Garbotoxin, so you got to keep that in mind. Usually what you can do though is once you have your abilities and you can target it down, or target down the Trubbish or whatever, and you kill it, it's probably going to be gone forever because we got Bright Look, we can pull it. It's very simple. So you have ways around it. You can check it in a way as long as you have your abilities. Okay, what else? We got to have the Stretcher 2. This one It's very good. Recycle a bunch of Pokemon back in the deck so we can use them again. Use more Salazzles, use more Ninetales. If the game goes really fast and you get like just a couple of 2-prize knockouts and you don't really, you know that you have enough resources to finish the game off, you can search a Pokemon straight in hand and get the job done. Right. Some typical consistency cards. You gotta have the Trainer's Mail, very good to search out items and supporters. And I have the new card, Random Receiver. I didn't have this in the previous deck list that I showed, but it's very important. This can help me instantly search out a supporter. All of the supporters in this deck just do something significant. Even Skyla, it's not like I have Guzma or I have I don't know, like shitty supporters that you might search them. You're trying to dig for cards and then you get like a Guzma, you reveal a Guzma or something. So since there's no Guzmas and Lysanders, it's very good. It's usually going to reveal like an N or a Cynthia. So just a very good method to instantly get a supporter. Because remember, we don't have any Jirachis, any ways to sort of boost our consistency through abilities and through Pokemon. So you gotta have enough of these supporters and items to get the job done. Right. I already talked about the Verbank City Gym and the Choice Band. Choice Band only 2 on the deck list. I think I had like 3, but I had to drop it. I don't know, I think I might have had 2 back then as well, but once upon a time I did run 3, and then I went to 2. I had to cut the video there for a second. Some fucking guy trying to advertise for watermelons outside. But anyway, as I was saying, the Choice Band, maybe I did have 3 on the previous deck video, but even if I didn't, once upon a time I did run 3. Had to drop it down to 2. It's a great card helping you get those KOs on those GX Pokemon. It really just makes a difference of getting that one-hit KO or not when you have this on. But we don't have the space. Sometimes when you have this early, you draw them. You draw a few in the beginning. You don't have a supporter. It's pretty bad. So just 2. You attach it when you need to. And it's not like you always need it. A lot of the Tag Team GX Pokemon too don't die with this anyway. You're going to be getting 2-hit KOs on them. So just 2 Choice Band. It's okay. And Hypnotoxic Laser, as I said, with the Verbank City Gym, we can boost the poison, so this is another great card combined with the Stadium, and it just activates Ninetales too. If we don't have Salazzle, then this is another method. If you get lucky and you get like heads on the sleep, it's essentially a Salazzle evolution. You inflict double status, and you can do the maximum amount of damage. So it's another one. It's another card that is sort of a damage booster as well. Early game, if you see this, you haven't evolved into Salazzle yet, you can just play it, start applying damage. Very good card. Broken card, not just very good. For as long as Hypnotoxic Laser is around, unless they print like a card that's the same thing but better than this, it's always going to be broken. Inflict poison and the chance to do sleep too. Crazy. And I think that about covers it for all the cards minus the supporters. Supporters are pretty interesting. Just like before, we max out the Cynthia and we max out the N with only 1 Juniper. And the reason for this is, well, the reason for the 1 Juniper is because I don't want to discard anything for the most part. You don't want to just discard your Pokemon, your Salazzles, Salandits, or the Ninetales or Vulpix. You aim to use all of them in a game. You never know. Maybe you'll get away with just 3 Salazzle. You can just wrap the game. But if not, you want to have the extras. You don't want to discard things like Stretcher or whatever. So just 1 Juniper, and I just rely on shuffle and draw supporters instead. So I keep my resources. Because there's no VS Seeker, I don't want to see that in the beginning when I don't have a supporter and it's a dead card. There's no Lysander to recycle anyway, or Guzma, so I don't see the necessity of VS Seeker too much. So we just drop it and maximize the consistency by running a max amount of Cynthia and even N. And of course, it's very good late game too, disrupting your opponent. And then I've got 1 Lily if you see this turn 1, like maybe through luck, or you get it through mail or random receiver, it's very good. You're going to draw until you have 8. If not, it's just a solid draw until you have 6 supporter, still very good. And then 1 chorus, of course, with expanded. Since we're going to fill our bench quickly with our balls, this card should be very good. Sometimes it does backfire. It's one of the downsides of chorus. It's always going to be there. If you have this, if it's your only supporter and you don't have a big bench, your opponent hasn't played many too, then he sucks. But more than likely than not, it's a good supporter netting you many cards. And just 1 Skyla. She's pretty good to get me that laser when I need it, maybe. Or maybe I can grab the Master Ball I want, or Level Ball, search out a specific Pokemon. Get the Stadium too. It's just, there's so many good things she can pull at the right time. So just 1 of her. And this is basically the deck, guys. The supporters, like I've said, is 8, 9, 10, 11. It's 12 supporters, so a big supporter skeleton. And we have shit like the balls within our deck too. We've got random receiver. We have mail too. So I try to make it as consistent as possible. A deck like this is always tricky when you run such a big stage 1 skeleton. You have a lot of Pokemon, and you want to fit in your text too. Like, you gotta have the lasers. I want to have my field blower and the megaphone. So when you have these sort of cards that take up space, you sacrifice consistency, whether you like it or not. But I've made it as consistent as possible, and I really feel very confident about this list. Unless they give us some other good shit, I don't see myself changing it. From the support that I checked in Unified Minds, I didn't see anything that would affect this deck too much. Like the Cherish Ball just grabs GXs. It doesn't grab any evolution Pokemon or whatever. So maybe some decks like my Vileplume Gengar are going to change, but this one, I see it staying like this. I just don't think there's any other trick I can really put into it or just change it. It's pretty good. I really enjoy using it. And if you guys want to copy my list, now you can. I'm going to show you guys matches, of course, like I always do. And this has been Saber94. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys subscribe, leave a like, and share this video with your friends. My channel is an excellent hub for all things TCG related. So I hope you guys subscribe. Thank you guys for watching as always. And we'll say...